So I got asked, James Harden or Steve Nash? Did I have a problem? Who did I feel that was more MVP worthy of the two? I think I've done this one before, but it came up in a live stream that I did recently, and I told the cat that I was going to address this because I thought this was, and he mentioned the D'Antoni connection. I've done this before. Yes, D'Antoni was a very original head coach. But James Harden's game was already coming along. I mean, I didn't have no problem with Harden getting MVP. I had no problem with James Harden being seen as great as he was because he kept getting better and better. The Steve Nash thing, there's still questions. Did he deserve to win back to back MVPs? Did he even deserve to win one? Some people feel like him and Shaq should at least shared it the first year. Maybe the second year, Dwayne Wade and Nash, or Kobe and Dwayne, Kobe and Nash, or Dirk and Nash. They just didn't feel that he outright won it. So he's almost like an asterisk. I mean, his career is kind of like, I know he's been LeBron James's puppet in recent memory, but it's almost like his career comes like kind of like an asterisk because no one ever bought that he really was, that he morphed into being a better player as he got in the middle to almost later stage of his career. Because he got to one Western Conference Finals, but he just was never, he was athletic, he was talented, but it was almost like some fairy tale, like he took some magic potion because it wasn't believable that he was that guy. So, out of him and James Harden, who do I think was a legit MVP? I will tell you that it was James Harden because the players voted for Harden one year, and then he's the last American-born player to win it. And again, he's one of those guys that because of the Steph Curry era, there are guys who they say get in the way. It's kind of like how Jordan got in the way for certain people from shining. You know, it kind of is that way in this case because Curry's dominance was so prevalent that a guy like Harden, who had one of the best, like if Peyton Manning and Greg Maddox never won in the postseason, or Clayton Kershaw didn't win the postseason, the regular season they'd be as great as anybody. And that's the argument you can make for James Harden. Because offensively he was something else, you know. Um, but there's this thing called postseason, and he might have a 6 game series, and then he play for two, and then he party for another, and then he doesn't show for game 7 or what have you. Just be all fat and greasy and just and slobbering. But asking me who was a more legit MVP, James Harden or Nash, I'm not gonna give you no stats and go through it. I'll just tell you sight on scene. It was James Harden. There was a time they wanted to put him with Jordan, Kobe, Dwayne Wade, and Jerry West amongst the top greatest, or Clyde Drexler amongst the greatest two guards ever. Sometimes they try to push him up higher. He garnered that kind of rep. No one ever thought of Steve Nash cracking the top 5 point guards ever. No one gonna ever look at him as Curry, Magic, Oscar Robinson, Isaiah Thomas, or Stockton. Sorry, that ain't gonna happen. You with 2 league MVPs. So ask yourself, because if I had to, you twist my arm and say who's closer to the being considered top 5 point guard or guard, and if I was going to buy MVP, I'd say it's Harden. Again, the eyeball test don't lie. Harden was like the Euro step thing was sick. Some of them say he walked in pump motion, but that beard was like I Dream of Genie. That thing had triggered the refs to blow the whistle, and he was getting calls like he was Shaq and Charles Barkley combined. That beard was powerful. So of the two, to answer this question I got asked, it's James Harden over Nash, who I felt was more MVP worthy. But let me know what you think below in the comments. That takes nothing from Nash having a great late middle surgeons of his career, midlife crisis, if you will. But for me, James Harden was more MVP worthy. But anyway, please hit like, subscribe, work on thoughts, comments, and I do respond. Thank you. Wash your hands, keep your mind clear, watch out for another. Share if you like. Stay safe, stay blessed, stay woke, stay free. I'm out one time. Peace.